A few years after the power tournament, Goku and Vegeta trained hard on Earth. They were fighting in the middle of the ocean, near an island where Bulma spent her holidays. The idea of the Bulma Island was for both Saiyans to have a place to fight at ease, without harming anyone or destroying cities. Even so, they had become so strong that things were no longer so easy. "Wow, those two are going to cause a storm at any moment," Bulma would say. "Take this," Vegeta would say when throwing a ki beam at Goku. "Take this," Goku would say when countering Vegeta's attack with another ki beam. Both powers would collide with each other and create a great explosion. The water under them would begin to form great tides, so a tsunami would go straight to the island. "It can't be," Bulma would say, terrified to see the gigantic wave that was coming at her. Piccolo would arrive to save Bulma. He would stand in front of her, and by signaling the wave, he would manage to split it in two. The water would come out to the sides without even a drop of water wetting Bulma. "Thank you, Piccolo, you saved me," Bulma would say. "Those two are going to destroy the planet one of these days," Bulma would say. Piccolo would approach a considerable distance from both Saiyans. "Hey, you two fools!" Piccolo would scream. His scream would be heard with echo. "Piccolo, don't interrupt! Don't you see we're training?" Goku would say. "It's true, you're just getting in the way," Vegeta would say. "Get in the way?" Furious Piccolo would say. "A pair of pimples! They were about to kill Bulma with a tsunami!" Piccolo would say when signaling the island. Goku and Vegeta would see Bulma furious and much of the island destroyed by the tsunami. "Damn, we went too far," terrified Vegeta would say. "I think we have more strength than we think," Goku would laugh. "It's not funny. They will have to control their powers for the good of others," Piccolo would say. Minutes later, our friends would be having a snack. Bulma was still upset with both. "I can't believe it! I bought this island so that you two don't destroy anything and almost kill me," Bulma would say. "If Piccolo hadn't been here, he would have died because of you two." "Poor me. Come on, Bulma, don't exaggerate so much," Goku would say. "Bulma is right. They have become so strong that they do not control their powers," Piccolo would say. "We have to get stronger. Frieza, with just training a little, becomes very powerful," Goku would say. "Didn't you think about training in the Room of Time?" Piccolo would ask. "It's very boring. Besides, it's been a year without you," Goku would say. "Well, it would be peace of mind for us," Piccolo would say. "Besides, they can train a year in, spend a few days, and train again." "Dad, Mr. Piccolo is right," Gohan would say. "Every time they get stronger, they would have to look for an alternative. They are not even transformed." "Well, thinking about it, maybe you're right," Goku would say. "What are you talking about, Kakaroto?" Vegeta would ask. "Maybe it will be just training in the Room of Time. It's for everyone's good," Goku would say. "One day we will be able to go from energy and even destroy the Earth. And what would happen if Frieza decides to attack the Earth and we are inside?" Vegeta would ask. "It is very dangerous if we are inside one day." "They would only have to endure. If Frieza attacked, we wouldn't even get into the Room of Time. They would still have 24 hours to make time," Goku would say. "I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea," Vegeta would say. "Come on, remember that Frieza is a prodigy who, by training just a little, becomes very strong," Goku would say. "The Room of Time is the only effective way to counteract that advantage. Vegeta, understand him." "It's for everyone's good," Bulma would say. "Whatever. Anything to stop them from crying," Vegeta would say. Meanwhile, Frieza was on his planet. He had received information from there. "Great Frieza," Berry Blue would call. "Our men have very valuable information from Earth. It is better that it is important," Frieza would say. Apparently, Goku and Vegeta intend to train in a room of time, Berry Blue would say. They have spoken that they are preparing in case you attack. Thanks for the information. While it comforts me that those damn Saiyans are afraid of me, it is useless for me to know, Frieza would say. On the contrary, they will be stronger. I tell you because I have an idea in mind, Berry Blue would say. Frieza smiled. He always trusted the plans of his right hand. I hope it's a good idea, Frieza would say with an evil smile. Do you know the ages of Mr. Vegeta and Mr. Goku? Berry Blue would ask. I have an idea. Vegeta was a 5-year-old boy when he destroyed the planet Vegeta, and Goku was just a baby when he escaped. So, the age of Goku is equal to the years that the planet Vegeta has since its destruction, Frieza would explain. Where do you want to get with that? As we know, they have used a room of time where a day out is a year in, Berry Blue would say. We know that both have used that room several times, so at least we would have to add 6 years of age to each. Maybe more, then, Frieza would ask. According to our records, the Saiyans have a life expectancy of between 140 to 160 years, Berry Blue would say. What would happen if those two entered the room of time and stayed locked together? Wow, you're very smart, Frieza would say. If they only spent 100 years inside, they would surely die of old age, no matter how strong they become. And even better, their souls would stay there forever, without anyone being able to revive them. We have small cameras in the shape of insects monitoring the Earth. We will know exactly when they will enter the room of time, Berry Blue would say. As soon as they enter, they will spend a whole day before they leave. I understand. That means we have 24 hours to annihilate the rest of the warriors and close that room, Frieza would say. Berry Blue, you have earned an increase with this brilliant idea. Hours later on Earth, Goku and Vegeta were about to enter the room of time. Dende and Piccolo would be there. I hope they don't destroy anything else on Earth with this, Piccolo would say. I wish you the best and that you become very strong, Dende would say. The room of time has infinite food, so you won't have to worry about anything other than training. Thank you, Dende. You are very attentive, Goku would say. I can't believe I have to go in with you, Vegeta would say. Annoying. Vegeta, you know we have to go in together, Goku would say. We get stronger by competing with each other. Besides, it wouldn't be fair for one to go in and be stronger than the other outside. Yes, I understand. You talk too much, Vegeta would say. Let's go in once and for all. Gohan and I will be attentive. Everything will be fine, Piccolo would say. Good luck, Dende would say. I don't like this idea, Vegeta would say. Come on, Vegeta, what could go wrong? Goku would say. Goku and Vegeta would finally enter the room of time. Wow, I almost forgot how it felt to be in here, Goku would say. Vegeta would inspect the interior. He would find a closet with dozens of uniforms for both. They even took the trouble to leave us several pieces of uniforms, Vegeta would say. They have been more attentive than I expected. Well, it's time to train, Goku would say. Goku and Vegeta would find weight training dumbbells to be able to fight with more difficulty. Without wasting time, both would go out to the patio of the room of time and begin to fight. Goku and Vegeta fought in their basic form. They gave everything to improve and become stronger. Do you think you can reach my level? Goku would ask, trying to provoke Vegeta.
Insect, what the hell are you saying? If we are at the same level, Hollow Head, Vegeta would answer furiously. You don't take it so badly either, it's just, Goku said until he received a blow to his face. Goku would be fired several meters away by the force of the blow. Vegeta? Damn cheater, that's not done, Goku would say, annoying. Don't trust yourself, Vegeta would say seriously. If I were Frieza, you would be dead. With what do you want it? Goku would say when transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Goku would throw everything at Vegeta, but this one would also transform into Super Saiyan Blue. Both would begin to exchange blows with everything. Meanwhile, Frieza's ship was close to Earth. As soon as they received the news that Goku and Vegeta had entered the Room of Time, Frieza and his army would go at full speed. The rest of our friends would soon feel the presence of Frieza. It can't be. It's like I knew. My father and Vegeta weren't there, Gohan would say furiously. Gohan would leave without delay at the meeting. Upon arrival, he would see Frieza with thousands of his men. But look who arrived. If it is the son of the great Goku, Frieza would say with a malicious smile. Frieza bastard, what do you want here? Gohan would ask, ready to fight. Piccolo would also arrive. After all your defeats, are you still trying, lizard? Piccolo would say. Wow, what a few modals there are on Earth, Frieza would say. Krillin and 18 would arrive, then 17. I can't believe it, you again, Krillin would say. What do you want? 18 would ask. It is logical. He knows that Goku and Vegeta are in the Room of Time, 17 would say. 17 closes the beak, furious Piccolo would say. Come on, it's more than obvious. There is no point in hiding it, 17 would say. Let's finish them, Gohan would say when using his mystical form. Gohan and the others would go to Frieza's men to finish him, but Frieza would stand in front of his army. In an unusual way to the evil emperor, he would protect all his men. I will not let you touch a single one of my soldiers, Frieza would say. You will fight against me. It cannot be, Krillin would say, terrified. Frieza's soldiers would come out scattered everywhere, while Frieza would use his golden form and start fighting our friends. Gohan and Piccolo would start fighting everything against Frieza. 17 and 18 would go, while Krillin was paralyzed. Piccolo at one point would launch a burst of energy towards 17 and 18. Get out of here, Piccolo would say. What's wrong with you? 18 would ask annoyingly. Go take care of Frieza's soldiers. It is obvious that it is a trap, Piccolo would say. You're right, 17 would say, who would get out of there instantly. I can't believe it, 18 would say annoyingly, and he would have no choice but to get out of there. Well, if it's the best, I'll do it, Krillin would say, trying to hide his fear of Frieza, and he would also get out of there. Although I have to confess that my soldiers are not strong enough for these three. I wonder how long it will take to stop them, Frieza would say, making fun of Gohan and Piccolo. Bastard, I swear you will pay to return to Earth, Gohan would say by increasing his ki to the maximum. Gohan would throw himself at Frieza violently. He would reach him with a strong punch, but Frieza would hold Gohan's hand, avoiding the attack. Not bad for a Saiyan, Frieza would say. Frieza would respond with a strong blow to Gohan's stomach, leaving him hunched. Gohan, Piccolo would say when trying to go to assist him. Frieza would take Gohan from the wrist and he would throw it against Piccolo, causing them to collide with each other. Huh, don't think you can beat me, Frieza would say in a bad mood. In the Kami-sama temple, Dende would realize the presence of several Frieza soldiers. That's the Namekusei we have to kill, one of Frieza's soldiers would say. It can't be, Dende would say when putting on guard. I have to protect the Room of Time anyway. Dende looked very worried. He knew he had to take care of the Room of Time, although it would cost him his life. What will happen now that Frieza is attacking the Earth? Will Dende be able to protect the Room of Time? And even more important, will Goku and Vegeta ever leave the Room of Time? We will know all that in the next part of this theory. So far, this video, friends. If you want to see part 2 of this theory of Goku and Vegeta locked in the Room of Time,
This video has to reach 30 likes. And many comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe.
In the Kami-sama temple, Dende was in distress. Several men of Frieza threatened the god of the earth. "Very well, dwarf. It will be better if you disappear," one of the soldiers would say when throwing a key ball at him. Mr. Popo would arrive at the right time. By hitting the key ball, he would manage to deflect it, saving Dende. "Mr. Popo, be careful," Dende warned. "These subjects are not enough for Mr. Popo." Mr. Popo would say, "Kami-samas, you must escape." "Hey, you, get away," one of Frieza's soldiers would say when holding Mr. Popo by the arm. Mr. Popo would apply a key to the soldier. He would make him crash against the ground. "He does not seem to be an ordinary subject," one of the soldiers would say to him. The other of them would say, all the soldiers would launch against Mr. Popo, and he should fight alone against them. Mr. Popo was much stronger than them, but the number made it difficult for him. Little by little, the faithful assistant of Kami-sama would defeat the soldiers until he managed to finish them. "You did it! Well done!" Dende would say, excited. "Luckily, Mr. Popo has trained, but it has not been easy," Mr. Popo would say when he fell on his knees. He was quite tired. Suddenly, more soldiers would arrive. They were twice the number with which Mr. Popo had fought recently. "It cannot be," Dende would say, terrified. "Kami-sama must flee," Mr. Popo would say. "I cannot. I am the god of the earth. I cannot leave this temple," Dende would say. "Kami-sama, dead will not be god. Kami-sama must be alive, or dragon spheres disappear forever," Mr. Popo would say when he stood up. He was ready to fight again. They would travel different parts of the planet in search of the soldiers of Frieza. They were destroying everything in their path, charging innocent victims everywhere. Each of our friends would finish off each of the soldiers they encountered, but there were so many that they could not avoid the damage they caused to the Earth. Krillin was in Central City, defeating every soldier he saw. At that moment, the police force would see Krillin. His companions were amazed. They saw Krillin fly while fighting. "I knew it was not ordinary," one of his companions would say. "Damn, I always wanted to keep my powers hidden." "But this is an extreme situation," Krillin would think. About 20 Frieza soldiers would arrive. They would launch key attacks everywhere, destroying the city. "Enough!" Krillin furious would say. Krillin would launch a great beam of energy into the sky. It would pass near a Frieza soldier. "Idiot dwarf, you failed," the soldier would say, making fun of Krillin. "Of course not," Krillin would answer. "At a certain height that reaches the beam of energy, it would explode." Several more rays separated. Each of them would connect each Frieza soldier. All of them would fall dead at the moment of impact. "Hey, don't you think Krillin deserves to be captain after this?" one of the officers would say. "Get out of here, this is very dangerous," he warned Krillin and his companions. In the Capsule Corporation, several soldiers would try to enter by force. Trunks would attack each of them, defending their home, while Bulma waited inside to be safe. "It is not possible. That cheater Frieza knew that Goku and Vegeta would enter the Room of Time," Bulma would say. "I have to see how many of those soldiers there are." Bulma worked on her computer. In a short time, she could have the location of each of the soldiers. "My God, they are all over the planet," terrified Bulma would say. "Did Frieza come with all his army? 17 should go to his island.
Since Frieza's soldiers were attacking the defenseless animals, 18 would reach another city. He would meet several soldiers. "Hi, doll," one of the soldiers would say when standing in front of her. "If you come with me, I promise no one will touch you," Frieza's soldier would say when extending his hand towards 18. "Doll," 18 would say, angry. "Come on, stop being so important. You will come with me," the soldier would say when taking 18 by the arm.
18 would attack with a ki beam through the soldier's chest. "Disgusting pig," 18 would say in a bad mood. The rest of the soldiers would surround her when they saw that it was not an ordinary woman. "Do you also want to die?" 18 would ask to her. One of the soldiers would say, "You were looking for it," 18 would say. 18 would begin to fight with each of the soldiers, defeating them with great ease. While Yamcha, Tenshinhan, and even Master Roshi, they were also in different parts of the Earth defeating Frieza's soldiers. Our friends would not have any major problems to take care of them, but not everything was going so well for Gohan and Piccolo. Frieza possessed an amazing power. He was fighting in his golden form. "I'm starting to get tired of you," Frieza would say. Frieza would reach Piccolo with a strong kick that would throw him away. Piccolo would roll several meters on the ground. He would try to stand up, but he was already too weak to continue fighting. "Mr. Piccolo," Gohan would say, terrified. "Now the son of Goku's fool remains," Frieza would say seriously. "Gohan." He would call Piccolo agonizing. "You have to defeat him." "I will," Gohan would say, determined. "You wish," Frieza would say with a sinister smile. Gohan would raise his ki as much as he could. He would throw everything at Frieza. He would arrive with a strong kick in his stomach. "You will pay," Gohan would scream out of himself. Gohan would start beating Frieza wildly. His attacks were really fast. Frieza could not cover any of them. After several attacks, Gohan would detonate a ki beam at a short distance, throwing Frieza away. Then Gohan would go at full speed towards Frieza. But when he got to where he had hit, he would realize that he was not there. Where did that bastard go? Gohan would wonder as he looked for him everywhere. "I'm here," Frieza would say behind Gohan. Frieza would attack Gohan from behind. He would fall to the ground. "Damn brat, I already know how you fight," Frieza would say seriously. "You only get very strong for a moment, but then you cannot keep a prolonged fight. You are so predictable." "Disgusting worm, I'll kill you," Gohan would say. Gohan would throw a fist at Frieza, but he would dodge it by just twisting his face to one side. Then Frieza would hit Gohan's stomach in a simple way. Gohan would be choked by the force of the blow. "You think you're better than me, but you certainly are not." Frieza would go by holding Gohan by the hair. Frieza would start hitting Gohan over and over without rest. Gohan could hardly move. "I have to give it all. I cannot give up," Gohan would think. Gohan would scream by raising his ki out of his limits. He would be able to get rid of Frieza. "Mazenko!" Gohan would scream by using his most powerful attack towards Frieza. Frieza would put his hands in front. He resisted the attack. Gohan would notice that Frieza managed to contain the attack, so he sent even more energy. Little by little, it seemed that Gohan was taking advantage. Frieza would begin to retreat while his feet scratched the ground. "You will not make it," Frieza would say. Frieza would force his ki. He would stop the impulse. Little by little, Gohan would spend his energies. The Mazenko would weaken little by little, until it reached the point where Frieza manages to deflect the attack to one side. You cannot be, Gohan would say when he fell on his knees. It was hard for him to hold his breath. He did not even lose his golden form. Krillin, 17 and 18 would arrive. "Friends, what are you doing here?" Gohan would ask. "If you die, we will eventually do it," Krillin would say. "We have no choice but to fight," 17 would say. "Let's go for him and give him what he deserves," 18 would say. "Do not wait," Gohan would say. 17, 18, and Krillin would launch towards Frieza.
But the Emperor of Evil, with an expansion of energy, would throw the three very far. "Do not bother. Do not see that I am dealing with the son of Goku," Frieza would say in a bad mood. Our friends would be fired far away. Frieza's power was totally out of his reach. I would normally kill those worms, but the last time I did something with that, I only managed to transform Goku, Frieza would say, remembering the time he killed Krillin on the planet Namek. Gohan, with the few forces he had, would stand up. He did not give up on anything in the world despite his wounds. Frieza would point to Gohan. He would launch large amounts of ki laser at him. Gohan could not move. Frieza's attacks were harassing him. "What do you think of this? You cannot do anything, damn Saiyan," Frieza would say with laughter. Gohan would try to move forward. He would only be able to take a few steps forward. After taking 4 steps, Gohan would fall defeated. He could not fight anymore. "Gohan!" he would call Krillin, terrified. Frieza would watch the three. He smiled sinisterly. "I think your only hope has just faded," Frieza would say. Frieza, when defeating Gohan, he no longer had obstacles. He would kill Krillin, 18 and 17. Then he would execute Gohan and Piccolo. Everything was going as he planned. Then he would go straight to the Kami-sama temple. Upon arrival, he would find dozens of his soldiers defeated. Wow, what a gloomy atmosphere! "Luckily, I still did not pay them the monthly fee," Frieza would say. Frieza would enter the inside of the temple. He would find Mr. Popo agonizing, sitting against a corner. "I see that you have not left a single soldier alive," Frieza would say. "You are a very strong subject, and from what I know about you, you are very loyal." Mr. Popo did not speak. It cost him a lot to breathe. "I can offer you to work for my organization. You will have medical insurance, excellent salary, and all the amenities," Frieza would offer. "What do you say? Someone with your power does not deserve to be wasted. I just need you to tell me where is Senmai Kosei, and I will save you." Mr. Popo would never betray Kami-sama, Mr. Popo would say when he refused to speak. "I see," Frieza would say when he put a sinister expression. Frieza, with a keeper laser, would pierce Mr. Popo's heart, killing him in the act. What a pity. "I guess I'll have to find that dwarf," Frieza would say. Frieza would see one of his soldiers. He had his radar intact. He would take the radar and look for Dende. He would easily find a fighting power of 15 units not far from there. Finally, Frieza would find Dende hidden behind some vases. "Wow, so there you are," Frieza would say when he pointed to Dende while carrying the key in the tip of his finger. "This brings me old memories." Frieza would eliminate Dende without hesitation, causing the dragon spheres to disappear. Some of Frieza's soldiers who had survived would arrive at Kami-sama's temple. "Gentlemen, prepare the area. No one can be in this temple," Frieza would say. "What do you think if we destroy the time room so those two die?" a soldier would ask. Frieza would throw a keeper ray. He would kill the soldier who asked the question instantly. "I did not ask for opinions.
I want you to simply control this area and block the passage, Frieza would say. If the time room is destroyed, I'm not sure if those two will die. Also, if they do, their souls will go to the beyond and they will be revived. I want them to die of old age inside, and that their souls never escape. Frieza's men would obey the order. They would begin to completely close the temple. Meanwhile, within the time room, only a few months had passed, the equivalent of the hours that passed outside. Goku and Vegeta were still training, as if nothing had happened. At one point, Goku would stop his training. He would feel a strange sensation. "What happens to you, Kakaroto?" Vegeta would ask. "Nothing, it was just a strange feeling," Goku would say seriously. "I felt that something was very wrong. What could happen now that Goku and Vegeta are locked in the time room? Will our friends be able to escape from the
Time room? And also, what will happen to the rest of the inhabitants of the Earth? We will know all this in the next part of this theory. So far this video, friends. If you want to see part 3 of this theory of Goku and Vegeta locked in the time room, this video has to reach 70 likes and many comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That will motivate me to continue uploading videos and theories for you. See you in the next video. A full year would pass inside the Room of Spirit and Time. Goku and Vegeta would achieve great results, greatly increasing their powers. Everything would be ready to return, but they would notice that the door connecting the Room of Spirit and Time was gone. "Kakarot, what the hell happened to the door?" Vegeta would ask furiously. "How should I know? I was with you all day," Goku would say. "Wait, this doesn't make sense. The door can't just disappear like that," Vegeta would say. Goku would place his hand where the door used to be. There was only a wall. "I'm sure it was here," Goku would say. "I don't get it. There must be a way out of here," Vegeta would say. "Anyway, there's no rush. Remember that time passes much slower here compared to the outside," Goku would say. "Kakarot, you blockhead! You can't be this stupid!" Vegeta would shout furiously. "If the door is gone, that means we're trapped," Goku would say. "We have to find a way out of here," Vegeta would insist. "But I can't think of how," Goku would reply. Goku would close his eyes and put his fingers on his forehead as if to use instant transmission, but nothing would happen. "What the hell are you trying to do?" Vegeta would ask. "I'm trying to see if there's a way to sense someone's ki," Goku would say, "but it's impossible. It's like this is another dimension." "Damn it, this is all your fault. I told you we shouldn't have entered the Room of Spirit and Time," Vegeta would say furiously. "Come on, Vegeta, don't be like that with me. Maybe the door just broke. If we wait a bit, maybe the others will manage to open it," Goku would say. "After all, only a day has passed outside." "You say that so calmly. I don't understand how you can be so relaxed," Vegeta would say. "Seriously, don't worry. What could go wrong?" Goku would say. On Earth, a year had already passed. The entire planet was in chaos. There were almost no survivors. Most of their friends had died. Only Bulma, Chi-Chi, and their children, Goten and Trunks, had survived, having protected each other. Planet Earth had become a desolate place where Frieza's army was using it as a base. They exploited all its natural resources while keeping the Kami Temple under surveillance. The Kami Temple was guarded by hundreds of soldiers. The door to the Room of Spirit and Time had been destroyed. More than 360 years had passed. One day, Frieza would go to Earth just to oversee his troops. Frieza would arrive at the Kami Temple to inquire about the Room of Spirit and Time. Grand Frieza, the commander in charge of guarding the room, would greet. "Rest, Lord Frieza. According to my calculations, it's been 8 years inside. Those Saiyans must be dead by now," Very Blue would say. "I know, but I don't want to take any chances. I'd rather keep everything as it is. I don't want their souls to escape to the afterlife, Frieza would say. Not until I discover a technique similar to Beerus's Hakai to destroy souls. Grand Frieza, we've recruited more men, so we'll build more bases, if that's acceptable. Splendid. As long as my army continues to grow, I'm fine with it, Frieza would reply. Since Goku and Vegeta have been trapped in the Room of Spirit and Time, his empire has expanded non-stop, Very Blue would say. You could almost say he controls the entire universe. Watch your words, Frieza would warn. If Beerus hears something like that, he would destroy me without hesitation. He hasn't interfered for now, but I won't provoke him. Meanwhile, Beerus was on his planet with Whis. They were aware of everything, as they had once tried to visit Goku and Vegeta, but couldn't find them. As a result, Whis had investigated everything, but they wouldn't interfere in mortal affairs. I really miss Earth, Whis would say. The food there was the best. Me too. But if they couldn't take care of themselves, there's nothing we can do, Beerus would say. I still don't understand why you let Lord Frieza rule Universe 7 like he's the king of the universe, Beerus would say.
When will you do something? Frieza has done a good job. His actions destroy uncivilized planets and turn them into advanced civilizations worthy of progress, Whis would explain. Remember the last meeting with the Supreme Kai. The standard of living in Universe 7 has risen tenfold since Frieza began ruling the universe. I suppose you're right, Whis would say. Good thing you noticed, Beerus would say. Now that I think about it, Frieza could be a candidate for God of Destruction, Whis would suggest. What? Beerus would say, terrified. Think about it. Frieza's actions have driven the growth of Universe 7, Whis would say, smiling slyly. That means his actions are worthy of a god of destruction. Plus, he works tirelessly, unlike you, who just sleeps all day. You wouldn't betray me to Zeno Sama like that, would you? Beerus would ask. Just then, the Grand Priest and Zeno Samas would arrive on Beerus's planet. The god of destruction would be terrified. Zeno Sama, Grand Priest, Beerus would say, bowing. A pleasure to see you, the Grand Priest would say. Hello, both Zeno Samas would say at once. We came because we were very intrigued by how the standard of living in your universe has risen. I imagine your gods are doing a great job, the Grand Priest would say. If I told you, you wouldn't believe me, Whis would say. Indeed, I've been paying close attention to all the planets. Thanks to my work and that of the Supreme Kai, we've brought balance and improvement to the universe, Beerus would say, trying not to reveal that it was all Frieza's doing, fearing Whis would expose him. Whis, do you have anything to add? The Grand Priest would ask. Beerus would be terrified that his angel might reveal the truth. No, Lord Beerus has done a good job, Whis would say. He especially knows how to delegate responsibilities. Delegate? One Zeno Sama would ask. Yes, what's that about delegating? The other Zeno Sama would ask. Damn it, Whis and his big mouth, Beerus would think. I've trusted key mortals and taught them how to maintain the balance of Universe 7. Thanks to my guidance and that of the Supreme Kai, we've helped mortals guide themselves to prosperity, Beerus would explain. Wow, sounds like more work than you made it seem, the Grand Priest would say. Guiding mortals requires great wisdom and, above all, patience. Very well, keep it up. We'll be going now, both Zeno Samas would say, and leave. That was close, Beerus would say. You were lucky they didn't ask about Lord Goku. Remember, he's their friend. It's been a long time. They must assume he's dead, Beerus would say. What do you plan to do now? Whis would ask. About what? Beerus would ask, annoyed. About Frieza. Who else? Whis would say. I didn't lie to them, I just didn't give them all the details. If I told them it was all thanks to Frieza and his conquest, not only would he become the god of destruction, but they'd also get rid of me. Damn, I thought you were on my side, Beerus would say, furious. I'm on no one's side. Remember, I'm a guardian angel, not your friend, Whis would say seriously. Whatever, find Frieza right now. We need to talk to him, Beerus would demand. As you command, Whis would say, smiling. He would use his staff to locate Frieza. He's on Earth, Whis would say. Good, then we're going there, Beerus would say. Whis and Beerus would begin their journey to Earth, while Bulma and Chi-Chi monitored everything from hiding. They haven't come back yet, Chi-Chi would ask. No, finding food is harder and they have to travel farther, Bulma would say. I can't believe it. How long will we have to live like this? Chi-Chi would ask, crying. Until we find a way to get Goku and Vegeta out of there, Bulma would say. Do you really think they're still alive? It must have been over 300 years for them, Chi-Chi would say. I'd like to believe there's still hope, Bulma would say, although she seemed hopeless. Trunks and Goten would return. They had managed to hunt a boar.
We brought food, Goten would say. Chi-Chi would run to her son and hug him tightly. I was afraid you wouldn't come back, she would say, crying. Mom, you're hurting me, Goten would say, as his mother hugged him too tightly. Meanwhile, Bulma was working hard at her computer. Mom, are you still working on that? Trunks would ask. I have to find a way to hack Frieza's base security. I'm sure that if I succeed, I'll find a way to open the Room of Spirit and Time, Bulma would say. Goten and I could go fight, create a distraction, Trunks would suggest. Are you crazy? We don't even know if Frieza is there. It's better he still thinks we're all dead, Bulma would say. All right, Trunks would say, disappointed. I did it, Bulma would say. What did you do? Chi-Chi would ask. I got into the system of the base they have at the Kami Temple, Bulma would explain. Now I can see all their movements. Mom, look at that. Frieza is there, Trunks would say. Bulma had access to the cameras inside the Kami Temple. She was watching everything. At that moment, Whis and Beerus would arrive. Those bastards, Bulma would say, furious. Mom, calm down, Trunks would say, trying to soothe her. I've called them countless times, but they ignored me. If only they'd been here when Frieza came, this wouldn't have happened, Bulma would say, enraged. Frieza would see the angel and the god of destruction before him. He felt that something was off. Lord Beerus, what a pleasure to have you here, Frieza would say. Frieza, I see you're very attentive to this place, Beerus would say, looking around. I thought you already knew about my plans to get rid of Goku and Vegeta, Frieza would say. I understood you wouldn't interfere in mortal affairs. You understood correctly, Beerus would say seriously, and you've done a great job. Thanks to you, the level of Universe 7 has increased. Wow, thank you for your words, Frieza would say. But, Beerus would say, changing his tone. But, Frieza would say, confused. I can't allow you to keep doing things right, or else you'll end up stealing my spot as God of Destruction, Beerus would say. Lord Beerus, how can you say such a thing? I would never do that. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't, Beerus would say. But I didn't come to argue. Beerus would point at Frieza and erase him with Hakai energy. All of Frieza's soldiers were terrified. They had seen who they considered the most powerful being in the universe vanish in an instant. Lord Beerus, I think you have spectators, Whis would say. You're right, Beerus would respond. Beerus would snap his fingers and all the remaining soldiers would disappear with Hakai energy. Bulma and the others were watching everything. I can't believe it. Beerus is shameless, Bulma would say. But Mom, we're safe now, Trunks would say. But only because Beerus benefits from it. He's a bastard. Bulma, do you think we can start new lives now that Frieza is gone? Will everything be okay? First, I want to open the room of spirit and time, Bulma would say with determination. What will happen now that Beerus has destroyed Frieza? Will Bulma manage to open the room of spirit and time? And, more importantly, what happened to Goku and Vegeta? We'll find out all of that in the next part of this theory. That's it for this video, friends. If you want to see part 4 of this theory about Goku and Vegeta trapped in the room of spirit and time, this video needs to reach 70 likes and lots of comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That will motivate me to keep uploading more videos and theories for you. See you in the next video.
Whis and Beerus would stay observing the habitation of time. Many years must have passed for them, says Beerus. 361 years and 10 hours approximately, says Whis. That was the time that passed from the inside, to judge by the date they entered. That's almost a terrestrial year, says Beerus. It's a shame, although who would have said that thanks to his confinement and the victory of Freezer, the universe was going to raise the star life level so much? I hope he manages to maintain the star life level, says Whis. Otherwise, it will attract a lot of attention. I already learned the lesson, says Beerus. Freezer's business of conquering weak planets and selling them to developed civilizations is a good way to filter life. I think I'll implement it. It's time to go, says Whis. I can't believe it. That Beerus is a bastard, says Bulma out loud. I had heard everything. I guess now all that's left is to repopulate the Earth, says Chi-Chi. There are some survivors left. We can't do anything else. It's true, Mom. We don't have to worry about Freezer and his men anymore, says Trunks. I want to go to the room of time, says Bulma. Bulma, are you crazy? Says Chi-Chi in tears. We'll only hurt everyone when we find their bones. Why are you like this? I miss you, Chi-Chi, says Bulma. Goku and Vegeta have taught us that limits do not exist for them. If there is a minimum, even a very tiny possibility that they are alive, I will exhaust all my resources on it. Mom, says Goten when approaching his mother tenderly, I want to try. Chi-Chi could not resist the look of her son. Okay, we'll try, says Chi-Chi. During the next few days, Bulma and Chi-Chi and the others would go to the Kami-sama temple. They would organize everything to find the way to create a door in the room of time. After a hard work, Bulma would create a portal that would simulate a door. I do not understand how the magic of the Namekusei works, so I will simulate a space-time door. If I manage to do it, I can create a portal inside the room of time, says Bulma. Do you think you can activate it? Asks Chi-Chi. That depends on our children, says Bulma. Why us? Asks Trunks. I need too much energy to be able to open that portal, says Bulma. And the only way is with you two. I need you to send all your ki to the energy containers that I have outside. Great, we can do that, says Trunks. Of course, it will be very easy, says Goten. Goten and Trunks would be placed on 2 platforms designed by Bulma. Each one was connected to an energy circuit to power the portal. Very well, start, says Bulma. Goten and Trunks would raise their ki to the maximum, transforming into Super Saiyans. Each one sent all the energy they could. Bulma would read their system. It was not enough yet. You have to send more energy. There is still half left, says Bulma. We are doing the best we can, says Trunks. Well, you have to be able to do more, says Bulma. Both would force their ki beyond their limits. The readings would rise, but it was not enough. 75%, so we can't do it, says Bulma. Both Goten and Trunks would lose their transformations. They would fall seated, exhausted. Wow, that was intense, says Goten. I can't believe it, says Bulma by holding her head. I'm sorry, Mom. We haven't trained this year for not raising our ki and being tracked, says Trunks. That's true. We have less power than before, says Goten, embarrassed. Don't worry, they have done well, says Chi-Chi. Maybe if they train a little, they will achieve it later. We don't have time, screams Bulma out of herself. I'm sorry, but more days would be more years in there. Goten, let's do the fusion, says Trunks. It's true, I had forgotten, says Goten. Goten and Trunks would place one next to the other. Both would begin to take the steps for the fusion. Incredibly, they would do it in the first one.
"Ta-da!" says Goten. "They did it! And in the first one," says Bulma, happy. "Splendid! I'm sure now they can do it,"
says Chi-Chi. Goten would place himself inside one of the platforms and would transform into Super Saiyan 3. He would raise his ki in such a way that there would be enough energy to activate the portal. "Damn, it's going to overheat," says Bulma. Bulma would activate the system instantly. The portal would create an image of Goku and Vegeta, only that both look to fight in slow motion. "They are alive," says Bulma. "They really are alive," says Chi-Chi amazed. Inside, Goku and Vegeta would be able to see the portal to the Kami-sama temple. "Vegeta, look at this," says Goku. Goku and Vegeta would see Bulma and Chi-Chi move at high speed. This happened due to the difference in the course of time. "Quick, we have to get out of here," says Goku. Goku and Vegeta would cross the portal instantly, thus reaching the Kami-sama temple. "Goku!" says Chi-Chi when hugging him. "Vegeta!" says Bulma when hugging him. "What happened?" asks Vegeta. "Is everyone okay?" asks Bulma. Says Goku. "Well, things happened," says Bulma. "They did it!" says Goten and Trunks at the same time. "What are they doing transformed?" asks Goku. "Did they just fight with someone very strong? What the hell happened to this place?" says Vegeta when observing everywhere. "I admit this. It's the style of technology of Freezer. It was to be expected that he was behind all this. I could not imagine another person," says Goku. "Freezer knew that you would enter the Room of Time," says Bulma. "It cannot be. That damn," says Goku furious. "Kakaroto, remember that during all these years I have blamed you for your idea of entering the Room of Time," says Vegeta. "I think you no longer need me to remark it." "I know, Vegeta, you're right," says Goku. "Hey, what happened with Freezer? Are the others okay?" Everyone would be silent. They did not know what was the worst part of the news, if to tell them that everyone died in the hands of Freezer, or that Beerus allowed all this and would follow his steps. Goku and Vegeta would notice the expressions on the faces of Bulma and Chi-Chi, in addition that they noticed them very exhausted. "We know that things went wrong, but we can remedy it." "Say what happened," says Goku. "First of all, there are no more Dragon Balls," says Bulma. "What a poor Dende," says Goku. "Well, who else was left besides you?" Silence would speak alone. "It cannot be," says Goku. "Only you four?" says Vegeta terrified. "Yes, only the four of us. In addition, there were other humans on Earth, but of those known, only us," Bulma would say. "It cannot be. Gohan, too? And Videl? And Little Pan?" Goku furious would say. "That's right, they died," Bulma would say. "To be honest, we were very lucky to escape. The children merged and managed to get us out of where Freezer had attacked. I think they assumed that we were dead." "Where is Bra?" Vegeta would ask. "Vegeta?" Bulma would say. Bulma would say when she began to shed some tears, and she would hug Vegeta when he broke completely. "Bra was safe, but he got sick and we could not get the medication. I'm sorry, Vegeta," Chi-Chi would say. "Damn!" Vegeta furious would say. Vegeta would move away from Bulma and furious would come out of there. "It cannot be," Goku would say. "Now he will really be angry with me." "Why?" Little Goten. "We were inside the Room of Time almost 400 years. We were in the room, and for all this time he assured that all this was my fault, and if something happened to him to the land that I would annihilate me," Goku would say. "Heavens, now he will really do it. It will happen to him. There is still a hope," Bulma would say. "It is true. We have the spheres of the dragon of the planet Namek," Goku would say. "No, wait." He would try to stop Bulma. Goku would take his fingers to his forehead. He would look for the key of the Namekusei from Namek, but he would not feel anything. "It cannot be. I don't feel anyone's key," Goku would say. "That was what I wanted to tell you. Freezer also killed them. He did not want to leave any loose end," Bulma would say. "Damn!" Vegeta furious would say. "Then everything was lost." "Goku, we could use the super spheres of the dragon," Bulma would say. "It is true. I will talk to Mr. Beerus. Surely he will help me to return all this to normality," Goku would say. Chi-Chi would faint from the impression. It was still missing that Goku knew the part that Beerus wanted everything as it was given the level of life that the Universe 7 had. "Goku, there are many things to tell you,"
Bulma would say. Bulma would attend to Chi-Chi, and they would tell him in detail everything that had happened to Beerus before eliminating Frieza. Goku already knew the truth. Frieza approved what Frieza had done and would continue with his model to maintain the level of life of the Universe 7 high. It is not possible, Goku furious would say.
Really? Is it the same Beerus we know? Goku would ask. I know it's not easy to believe it, but it is so, Bulma would say. Beerus has not intervened since Frieza attacked and even supported him. I think he eliminated him because he felt that Frieza was conquering the universe and did not want competition. Well, I'll take care of it, Goku would say when he took his fingers to his forehead. Wait, you still didn't say how they are alive, Bulma would say. We believe that the key of the gods has given us great longevity. Sincerely, we do not know why. It is the only thing that occurred to us, Goku would say. I have to go. I know that with the power we achieved in these years, Beerus will not be a problem for me. Goku would use the teleportation, thus reaching the planet of Beerus. Both Beerus and Whis would be alert for the enormous power they felt out of nowhere. What is that? Beerus would ask, terrified. It does not look like a god, but it is a very intense energy, Whis would say. Whis and Beerus would get out of their luxury, and now that Goku will face Beerus, what will be the result of the confinement in the Room of Time? And also, will Vegeta appear to fight against Beerus? All that we will know in the next part of this theory. So far this video, friends. If you want to see part 5 of this theory of Goku and Vegeta locked in the Room of Time, this video has to reach 70 likes and many comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel that will motivate me to continue uploading videos and theories for you. See you in the next video.
Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button to support the channel, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an epic story. And if you want to take it to the next level, become a channel member for exclusive perks.
Goku was furious, especially because of the way that Beerus and Whis gave importance to the Earth. The god of destruction was terrified. Goku's ki was something colossal. Damn it, Beerus would say between teeth when he was in a fighting position. His power is too much. I'll finish you, Goku would say when he threw himself at Beerus. Goku would reach Beerus with a strong kick in his chest that would throw him far away. Wow, he has become incredibly strong, Whis would say. Beerus would get up with difficulty. The blow had been lethal. Damn it, what kind of training did he do? Beerus would ask. You better fight seriously if you don't want to die so soon, Goku would say. And think that we saved you from Sama's killing you along with the other gods. And look how you pay us, idiot. I killed Samus, Beerus would say as his ki increased. Beerus would go to Goku with a murderous intention. He would attack him with everything he had, but his blows would not be effective. Goku managed to greatly exceed Beerus's speed. It can't be that fast, Beerus would think. Goku would connect with a strong blow in Beerus's stomach. The god of destruction would cough blood as he fell on his knees. Look at you, Goku would say, upset, humiliated by a mortal. If you had helped us, Vegeta and I would not have been locked up in the Room of Time. And I wouldn't be beating you up. Goku would hold Beerus by the neck, separating his feet from the ground. Do you have something to say? Goku would ask. Beerus would lean his hands on Goku's wrists. Hakai, Beerus would say. Destruction energy would surround Goku's body. Goku would be forced to release Beerus while resisting the Hakai. That's it. Disappear, Beerus would say, laughing. Goku, with a slight expansion of ki, would manage to remove the Hakai from above. You're just a coward, Goku would say. And besides coward, useless. Not even with Hakai can you defeat me. It's not true, Beerus would say. It can't be that you're so strong. Goku would begin to attack Beerus without holding back. Goku's blows were too lethal for the god of destruction. After a few seconds, Goku would easily defeat Beerus. It was to be expected. Mr. Beerus has not trained for a long time, Whis would say. Do you have something to say? Goku would ask, by stepping on Beerus's chest. Whis, help me, Beerus would ask. You know I can't do it, Whis would answer coldly. It is an obligation to remain as the most powerful being in the universe. If you can't do it yourself, then you are not qualified to be the god of destruction. Don't say that, Beerus would say, terrified. Goku was torturing Beerus, but he had not yet decided to kill him. Suddenly, a ray of ki would hit Beerus's chest, hitting him right in the heart and taking his life in the act. It can't be, Goku would say. Goku would turn around. He would see Vegeta behind him. Vegeta! He was tied to the Kaioshin. You killed him too, Goku would reproach. He didn't do anything good for nothing either, Vegeta would say. Mr. Vegeta, I can see that you have learned Mr. Goku's teleportation, Whis would say. That's admirable. Be careful, Vegeta, Goku would say. Whis agreed with all this. What do you say? Vegeta would say, confused. I only said the truth. Frieza has increased the life level of Universe 7 by favoring high societies in exchange for selling him planets of those lower races, Whis would explain. The numbers do not lie. What happened to you favored the entire universe. You say we are the bad guys? Vegeta would ask, furious. Please, the concept of good and evil is so primitive, Whis would say. There's no doubt, Vegeta would say. You are our enemy too. I don't think they're serious, Whis would say seriously. Vegeta, let's defeat Whis and look for the dragon's super spheres, Goku would say. With them, we will return everything to normal. Do you really think they can beat me? Whis would say without much enthusiasm. What a waste of time. Whis would turn around. He would start walking slowly to return to his castle, as if Goku and Vegeta meant nothing to him.
Suddenly, Whis would turn around and dodge the attack of both Saiyans. Both Goku and Vegeta had attacked him from behind. Do you really think they can beat me? Whis would ask. The confinement has affected their heads. Help us look for the dragon's super spheres, and we will let you live, Vegeta would threaten. Whis would put a sinister expression. In an instant, he had his hand on Vegeta's stomach. Vegeta would be hunched, coughing blood. I have a lot of patience, but I don't allow anyone to threaten me. Furious, Whis would say. Vegeta, Goku would say when attacking the angel. Goku would get to Whis, but by hitting him with his fist, the angel would simply dodge the blow. They still don't understand, Whis would say when moving away. What makes you think I'll help you? I told you, forgive you life, Vegeta would say seriously. Vegeta, let's do what we've been training for the last 50 years, Goku would say. Okay, Vegeta would answer. Last 50 years, Whis would say confused. Goku and Vegeta would raise their ki beyond their limits. They would each use the Ultra Instinct with the Super Saiyan Blue. I can't believe it! They have mastered it perfectly, Whis would say when putting on guard. Goku and Vegeta would move at great speed towards Whis. To the angel's surprise, the movements of both warriors were coordinated with each other. Anyway, the angel managed to dodge Goku and Vegeta's attacks, but he shouldn't have trusted. He was terrified of the power they had achieved. Did they prepare to fight me? Whis would ask when getting away from them. To be honest, with all the time we spent in there, we contemplated many possibilities, Goku would say. We suspected that Frieza had been the one who locked us up, Vegeta would say. But we analyzed all the possibilities, and we prepared for everything. We did mental training, where we simulated fighting even with the same gods, Goku would say. Wow, I see you had a lot of free time, Whis would say. And now, we see the results, Goku would say. Goku and Vegeta would launch back at Whis.
but before reaching him, they would simply disappear before his eyes. "It's not possible," Whis would say, disconcerted. Suddenly, Whis would receive a blow on his back that would throw him away. Goku and Vegeta had attacked him without the angel being able to feel the presence of both. "I can't believe it," Whis would say as he stood up calmly, and he took off the dust from his tunic. "It's amazing that a couple of humans forced me to do this." Whis would throw his staff aside, and he would get into a fighting position. "Now I'll get serious," Whis would say. "Vegeta, we don't trust each other," Goku warned. "Shut up and keep your eyes open," Vegeta said. Whis would go at full speed towards Goku and Vegeta. He would connect a kick to Goku's stomach and a punch to Vegeta's chest. Both would be pushed away by the strong blow each had received. "Damn, that hurt," Goku would say. "That bastard is determined to kill us," Vegeta would say. "And that we plan to leave him alive." Between the three, they would resume the fight. They would begin to exchange blows as they moved everywhere. Whis managed to control both Goku and Vegeta, but still every so often he received a blow from both. At one point, Goku and Vegeta would throw a key attack on Whis. An explosion would be created in front of him. Whis had crossed his arms to resist the attacks, but he would see something that would catch his attention. "It's not possible," Whis would say. He would see Goku and Vegeta a few meters away. Each of them was preparing their best technique. Goku was preparing a Kamehameha, while Vegeta a final splendor. "Let's finish this now, Vegeta," Goku would say. "Don't tell me what to do and attack, insect," Vegeta said. Both would attack at the same time. Whis would stretch his hands to support both attacks. Each of Whis's hands supported the attack of each one. "This amount of energy on the part of the two mortals does not make sense," Whis would say. Annoyed by how the two mortals put him in trouble, Whis would begin to raise his ki. Goku and Vegeta would be terrified to feel his enormous power. "That bastard was not fighting seriously after all," Vegeta would say. Whis, after an effort, would manage to reject the attack of both. Goku and Vegeta were agitated, while Whis' eyes shone with a strange white glow. Suddenly, Whis had reached Goku and Vegeta without anyone noticing. He would hit each one in the stomach, removing their transformations. "It's the first time someone puts me in a situation like this," Whis would say seriously. "They will pay with their lives." Whis would throw a large ball of energy at both, but they would disappear just in time. The ground where they were would explode, leaving a large crater. "That was close. Kakaroto, we only have one thing to do," Vegeta would say. "Vegeta, I never thought you would ask me," Goku would say, confused. "Shut up, we're talking about Whis," Vegeta would say. Whis would go to Goku and Vegeta, but Goku would manage to make fun of him with a ball of energy that would explode, leaving him blind. Whis would have to cover his eyes. The glow was too strong. "Damn, a blinding attack, those two," Whis would say while trying to regain vision. Goku and Vegeta would begin to perform the steps of the fusion, thanks to the distraction they had generated. Whis could not interrupt them. Gogeta would finally appear. "Your time has come," Gogeta would say when transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. "I knew they were going to merge," Whis would say seriously. "It was the only alternative they had left if they wanted to try something." "Don't worry, we won't kill you," Gogeta would say. "We just want you to help us collect the Dragon Super Spheres, and you will do that for good or bad." "No way," Whis would answer. "You are wrong if you think I will help you, especially under threat." Gogeta would go with everything to Whis. Both would clash their fists with each other. A great burst of energy would shake the entire planet. Whis and Gogeta would begin to exchange blows. Their attacks were precise and ferocious. They fought at the same level. "It can't be. He is rivaling me," furious Whis would say. In a moment, Gogeta would manage to make fun of Whis' guard. He would connect a strong kick to his stomach, after a punch to his chest, and with a hammer blow, he would knock him down. Whis fell at great speed by the force of the blow, but before colliding with the ground, he would manage to stop the impulse and stand up. "It is impossible that it is so strong," Whis would say, annoying. "Are you going to give up or not?" Gogeta would say when crossing arms. Come on, give up. I need those dragon super spheres as soon as possible. How dare you? Furious Whis would say. Whis would scream, raising his Kai beyond his limits. You could see how his uniform was beginning to get small, and it would tear in some areas of the arms. Heavens, it's strong. Gogeta would think terrified, but it's not time to give up. Gogeta and Whis would resume the fight again. Both would fight in a savage way. Meanwhile, on the planet of Zeno Sama, the king of everything and the supreme priest, they saw the fight from Daishinkin's scabbard. It is incredible that these two mortals, they managed to rival an angel, Daishinkin would say, something worried. Great sir, what do you have in mind? I do not know. I do not want to eliminate Goku, Zeno Sama would answer. But it is worrying that the mortals have such a high power, Zeno Sama would finish saying seriously. What could happen now that Whis and Gogeta, they fight with all their strength? Who will win between them? And even more important, what measure will Zeno Sama take? All that we will know in the next part of this theory. So far this video, friends, if you want to see part 6 of this theory of Goku and Vegeta, locked in the room of time, this video has to reach 70 likes and many comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That will motivate me to continue uploading videos and theories for you. See you in the next video. Subscribe.